Welcome, fellow entrepreneurs. Charles Peterson here, and today I'm going to walk you through how to set up a simple mail merge list to place labels on the front and the back of your pre-stamped US postcards or any other cards that you choose using Microsoft Word or OpenOffice. Now let's get started. First thing you do is just right click, press New Microsoft Word document, and you're just going to double click and open that up. At least that's how it's set up on my computer. And the first thing you're going to want to do is set the type of font. So what I do is right click, I press font, and for this particular label, which is going to be kind of small, I just want 12 point, and I want it to be bold italic, and I also want it to be Times New Roman. And I just press okay, let me do that over, Times and New Roman. Now I'm going to set that as my default. Now if you want to get really fancy, you have a lot of options here, and I guess you already know that. This is just a basic tutorial. So now I make that my default, and I press yes. I want it to be the default, and that's what I'm going to use for the front part of the label that's going on a very small regular US postal card. So now the next thing I want to do is I go to mailings, right, and I go to start mail merge. In this case, I'm going to use labels. And you'll see how this applies to the other things that they have here as well. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to use labels. Now when I do that, it gives you different options here. And I like to use Avery US letter size because they have a lot of pre-perforated labels in Staples or Office Max or wherever you want to go. And it's pretty standard, and you can get the actual store brand, which is a little cheaper. But I just like my Avery labels. But anyway, I'm going to choose 8160, which is actually the height of 1 inch, and the width is about 2.5 inches on an 8.5 by 11 sheet, which is standard for most printers. Okay, now you just press OK, and the next thing you want to know is going to want you to select recipients. So you just go over here to select the recipients. Now you could type a new list, use an existing list, or sometimes if you have a lot of leads in your contacts, Outlook contacts, you could do that. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to use a pre-existing list that I already did, which I actually got from the free survey leads above. Now basically I just look on my desktop for where the leads are, go into leads, and they happen to be in Peter Wolfing world, which I call Peter's world, and here go the leads right here. So I press them, put them in, and they're in CSV format. It's about 475 of them that you get a day, and basically these are survey leads. So they get to ask you, you know, they basically were called and asked how much money they want to spend, what time they can work, why they want to be in a business, and so on and so forth. So these are pretty good leads that you can either call or send out postcards to. Now, as you can see, it creates about 30 records per sheet using that size label, and it's 3 columns, 10 each. And the next thing I want to do is just put an address block. And so I click address block, and there it is. And basically it's already done, and you can see it's the first and last name, street address, city, state, and zip. And you have different options if you want to put, you know, like Mr. or Mrs., or you want to put just the first name, or how you want it to look, or whatever. But I'm just going to use the first and last name, and this is the one that's actually on mine. Now here, as you move on the left side, it says insert postal address, which I always do, and I always click this radio button because it says only include the country and region if it's other than United States, because I don't really plan on sending postcards outside of United States unless it's really a really hot prospect. So anyway, now if you want to add up anything else different in here, you just go to match fields and you look at the corresponding code, and you can see first name to first name, and it's pretty much already done, but you might want to add a company or a suffix of Mr. or Miss and put that in there as well with the drop down menu, and that gives you other options to do that. And you could also put there's other things you can put in there, like say if you want a unique identifier, maybe you put serial numbers, or you're giving out coupons for other campaigns that you're doing on the net, or whatever it is. But it gets really personal. And now you just press OK, because I'm just using the standard one, which is first name, last name, address, city, state, and zip. So that's OK, and I press OK. And as you can see, there's an address block here. Now it doesn't look like much, but what I'm going to do is I want to just preview what I've already done. So I just go to preview results, and this is what your label is going to look like. You could use any font or any type that you choose. That's just what I choose. So now that I said, and I could correct any different characters that I have here or whatever I want. But I see that that's pretty much how I want my label to look when I place it on the front of the postcard. Remember, these are pretty standard, regular US type postcards. You know, when I do 4x6 cards where I get more elaborate on different campaigns, you know, then, you know, it changes. But right now, the only thing left to do is just update labels. Press update labels, and as you can see, it does it in sequence, in order, 32 a page, 3 columns of 10. Now the next thing to do is just press finish, right? Now here it gets a little interesting, because if you press edit individual documents, this will come up, and this dialog box will, you can do all of them, you know, or you can just maybe edit a current record, which is just one of these records, or you can number it from 1. In this case, this list is 475. I can stop at 473, and I'll be able to edit all of them to change whatever and put whatever I want in these fields here. But I'm not going to do that. The only other thing to do for me basically is to press finish and print documents. And in this case, I would print all. And what's going to happen is another dialog box comes up, and like it's standard in most printers, and you decide whether you want to print all pages, a selection, or you want to press maybe 1 to 3 and then 5 pages 5 to 12. You decide, depending on how many postcards or how many labels or how many pages. Remember, this is actually, you can use this for standard forms if you were to press form instead of label, but it basically applies. And that's just for people that don't know. I guess most people know. If you don't, get Infinity Downline, and you could study these tutorials in the back office for free as a member. But in the meantime, I'm not going to press OK, because I actually already sent out postcards, and these are very responsive lists. You know, these are people are looking for a business. And again, I'm just going to erase that, and basically that concludes this video. Now in the second half, I'm going to show you how to put your ad copy, or maybe a picture or a pre-printed postcard on the back that you could either put on a pre-existing postcard or a label to put on a postcard. You decide. The choices are yours, and I'll show you that on the next video, so stick around. So I hope this part has been of some value to you, and this is Charles Peterson, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye for now.